Let's see how it all pans out. John, is there a counter for the lone draw with this game? Like, it doesn't feel like you really have the greatest answers.
Not in particular. I mean, you can kind of just try to kill off the bear. I guess once the Pudge has something like his Ags and some protection, maybe a Hooded Defiance up, or at least a BKB, just focus down the bear, dismember it. You're going to need your shard for the lower cooldown, feels like, because it is a lot to throw onto just the bear. I think the Marcy can probably melt it, actually. If you think about just Marcy's output, the bear should just actually melt. So you have some ways. It is still going to be annoying, but that is some gold bleed that Lilgun will have to watch out for. 423 is going to have to micro pretty well. Again, you have some defensive choices. Like the Savage Roar is going to be nice. Just pushing them away is probably enough to save. And there are higher priority targets in the backline. You have to stop Kishka on that Phoenix, because he had Ace 12 in the Phoenix this time, because he had a fantastic game. And if the Phoenix just replicates that same performance that we saw Kishka do, I mean, you're just going to have a hard time. Pudge will burn down to that Sunray.
Let's see how Game 3 goes, John. You know what I'm going to ask for? The people want to hear it. We need battle points, Jonathan. We need battle pass points. Predictions, please, sir.
Let's see. Will a tower be killed before 10 minutes? I want to say yes to that one. Total number of towers killed before 25. Probably, oh, that's a hard one. I can see 0 to 5 or 6 to 10. Like, it's right in the precipice. 25 minutes, maybe 6 to 10. Team with the most Roshan kills, I would lean towards Lilgun. First player to buy a Blink Dagger. Interesting.
I think 11.
Yeah, probably 11. Like, he is the one that's to prioritize that from the offline. So there you go.
I was going to go Sanctity for that Blink Dagger one as well, but I thought to myself, well, if as the Bat Rider, you do want a quick Blink, right? Because against Void, against Storm, against the Marcy even, you do want that Blink for the Lasso. You don't need the Boots of Travel build-up or the damage build-up, you just need the initiation. We'll see what happens anyway. I think your predictions are pretty spot on here, John. Well done. See what AG can get done, though. They have grouped up as 4. They'll make their way over to the Dire Jungles. Ace 12 is going to spot them out. Will be just fine to walk away. They'll see the Spirit Bearer as well, but not something they necessarily want to deal with right now either. AG just trying to secure both bounty runes on the left side. Varish in the meantime trying to have a look around for some observer wards. Does get hit by the tower. Believes there is an obs ward there, but there is not.
The battle begins.
2 for 2 trade. Oh, 3 for 1 trade. DB gets
little hook. Yeah, nice little hook coming out, just kind of set up, no block. So DB does grab an extra for his team. Nice little start coming out there for armygeniuses as we take a look at that mid once more. Azura is on that Storm, as we saw in Game 1, up against Sanctity on the Puck. This does feel like something the Puck should be able to manage a little bit better. Storm still has that really nice level 3 spike, with the double overload being a play that you could go for, or just kind of getting more damage on the Remnant to clear out the creep wave. Storm has a pretty easy time clearing out the creep wave in comparison. The downtime for Puck on the Illusory Orb is just that much bigger. Although you shouldn't be able to trade too much back and forth. Although, if you can, then Azura still feels a lot better. Especially if he does have the Overload to trade. You're going to have to time your Waning Rift or Phase Shift here very nicely on Sanctity.
Yeah, absolutely. So it can be a bit of a dangerous affair. What about the side lanes, John? Maybe we should start looking at bot lane. You're going to see DB there in that POS 1 Pudge. Seen this man play POS 1 Pudge quite a lot. Really enjoys running this kind of carry for himself. Be there along with Varish once again on the POS 5 Gyrocopter against 11 and Kishka on the Bat Rider Tiny. How does this lane go, John?
This one feels pretty good for 11. Like, you don't tend to enjoy this as the Pudge. Once you do have the Flesh Heap, you feel a lot better. You can get aggressive as well using a homing missile to set up for the hook. And you can just run down with a Rot and Rocket Barrage, but that feels comfiest at level 2 or level 3. Again, with a value point up on Flesh Heap. And until that point, 11 should just be able to play around. Napalm stacks are going to be annoying. Turn rate of Pudge isn't that high already. So once you've got a couple, turning around for the hook's going to feel a bit tough. It is a bit more passive for Kishka though, as you tend to see on the Tinies, and that's something that Varish can kind of exploit, just how little Kishka can get done in the first few levels.
It's fun as well, because you've got the homing missile to set up for the hook, so they do have to be a little bit worried about where that creep wave is. Meanwhile, Narman and Ace 12 going at it in the river, fighting over the water rune. Narman Hasn't skilled up Bash this time around, at least for now, as Varish bot lane was chased down a little bit, but DB will go in with the rot, has the hook, will land it on 11, but it's just going to be a bit of chip damage. Just making sure Varish does not give first blood away.
Just trading back and forth. If Varish can stand up and apply Rocket Barrage with that rot, it's a lot of magic damage. So you can certainly just kill off the bat. Even the tiny are not that durable. And that is something that will lead to Lilgun kind of having to temper themselves. Once you do have a complement of Avalanche Toss, though, there is some counterplay Kishka can offer.
Of course, you saw the comments in the chat earlier, John, during game one. I do tend to agree with the sentiment as well. Narman, he does not have the Void Arcana, and you know what that means, John? You don't get blessed with bashes from Gaben. I believe last game around, in fact, it was DB. The poor guy, like, he had 9 hits in a row, not 1 bash. That was just kind of ridiculous.
Time is money.
Maybe the key is to have that Arcana, get those levels up, boys, if you are going to run that Void. Still, top lane has been going smoothly here for 4-2-3. Not much the Marcy can do to stop that farm, and that is a cause of concern. Like, once you do have that build up on the Spirit Bear, things can get out of control very fast. The push comes out, the bear just farms up like a madman, and you really don't have a good way to check. Until you get Unleash, perhaps, that could be the play, to just try to melt Narman as well. I mean, we've seen this from game one. His early laning presence isn't the best. Wami's basically left to fend for his own as Narman just tries to be disruptive around the map, but again, it's not really putting a dent to what 4-2-3 or to what Ace12 wants to achieve in that lane.
No first blood being drawn out yet, almost 4 minutes in. Again, water runes are going to be priority here for these mid laners, but Narman is going to be around to try and make sure that Sanctity does not pick one up and will take it. So Sanctity, once again, no water rune for himself on the puck. Very annoying. So he will be left with that empty bottle.
Mine.
I suppose with these kind of drafts, you are going to have a bit of a delayed first blood here. Maybe bot lane is where it should happen, but you never really know.
I don't like to call people losers.
And they go at the bot lane. DB going to be targeted. Kishka, he doesn't have Avalanche, but he does have the toss back. 11. Doesn't have Firefly, though, as the hook is going to land. 11. He doesn't have that Firefly, but an Avalanche is going to make sure they cannot chase him down. He's going to be all right. Scary times.
Yeah, they're trading back and forth still quite a fair bit. It does feel better for DB. I mean, he's got the wand, so he's always going to be ready to go. And there's not much punishment coming out from Kishka. 11 does have a bottle up, but that does mean he's going to want maybe a couple of TP backs, maybe some bounty runes for himself. Going to have to dip into that jungle, providing some room for DB to keep that farm game up. DB isn't farming as well as 4-2-3, which is still a cause of concern, but his timings are a little bit earlier, and he can just show up with maybe a casual Hood of Defiance or Vanguard and try to make some plays while saving up for the Ags, in comparison to the Lone Druid, who will just probably stick to the jungle, stick to the creep wave, just keep farming with that bear, and buy himself his items that he needs. Wami, again, not the most aggressive start. They are still trying to keep chase down bot. Kishka is just speedy enough with the boots that it's hard to actually catch him out now.
It certainly is. Kishka should be just fine. Okay, no first blood. 6 minutes in almost. Maybe with the power rune spawning, perhaps that's around the time, because now you certainly don't want to give these runes away. Sanctity has not been able to get a rune yet, so he would love one. So Zura, he'll head up top, they'll gamble. Narman is there as well. And he gets it.
Where's my pension?
Zura, he's a very happy boy right now. Jonathan, he's getting everything he could ask for, and you always hear these mid laners complaining about it, even with the water runes. They always complain about, oh, but the mid laner that gets the power rune automatically wins the lane, and well, for now, Azura is 11 CS ahead, so I suppose they're not quite wrong.
Yeah, I mean, and you're at the point where you've got level 6 in both sides. So you've got the coil to kind of lock in the storm. At the same time, the storm can just kind of zip around if you're not careful, if you don't manage to set up. Still a very passive game. 6.5 minutes, no first blood, no kill attempts, just passively farming up.
Hook.
Dude,
Kishka, Avalanche is out. Kishka gonna be alright. In fact, Varish, he's the one in trouble now. DB, can he help him out? In fact, Varish is gonna run. The stick charges were enough and the TP rotations were in. Narman, he's gonna chase down Kishka. DB to follow up, and Azura, he's there as well. Narman, he'll take first blood on the Void. 7 minutes into this game. It does cost a 4-hero rotation, but they will secure it.
find a kill. You don't mind too much with Azura coming in. He does have a haste, so it doesn't take him too long to get back into the lane, find that CS once more. And you're not really doing too much up top as well for Narman, so you don't mind showing down. Wami's had a stable lane anyway. And you finally get a kill. You need to start ramping up a little bit more. Hood of Defiance being saved up for by DB. You want some stacks up on this Pudge to just be a little bit more durable up front. You normally kind of want like 4 from laning kills. They are grouping up mid now though from Lilgun.
Ace. Oh my god, that's so much damage. Wami just deleted Ace 12's HP. There's the rebound. Not going to land either. Sanctity, a very nice juke out. Kishka is there, but Narman right behind him is Azura looking to zip in, but the Avalanche and Dream Coil going to lock both of them down with the toss back onto the Storm Spirit. Can he survive? Very Fire Azura, no! He is going to drop. Great setup from Kishka and Sanctity. Still a double damage rune is going to be found out by DB. They might keep going. He has Dismember. He'll land the hook. He's got the Dismember out. The orb. It's not going to last. They'll find a trade. Great rotation from DB.
Yeah, and that's what you need to see. You're still pretty happy with killing off the Storm. It's a really aggressive movement forward from Azura, and they didn't manage to get too much. The activity out from DB does pay off, but you are still getting a lot more space out here for 423.
That is a very risky initiation down at bot lane. DB, he's got stick charges. He'll be fine. They chase down 11. DB now dropping low with the Dismember. He is going to drop. 11 goes down first. DB able to take the killers. Now 423 rotates as the Lone Druid, but where's the Spirit Pair? Oh, I mean, Lone Druid's here. Varish eventually should drop the Sanctity and will. The Bear's just up the top. All right, fair enough. Meanwhile, towards the north, Azura, out of mana, too aggressive here from the Storm. Sunray gonna burn him alive. Azura is gonna drop Lilgun. Very good punishment down at the bot lane.
You've got to be careful about just going that far forward. You're giving Lilgun a lot in terms of net worth, in terms of space. They do manage to get a good Dismember, but
they're onto the Lone Druid, but he got the Bear form off in time, so instead it's 11 that's going to be targeted. Wami unable to get within range for a Dispose for now. And the homing missile, it'll land, but it's too late. Lilgun show up once again, down at the bot lane. Seems like they are ready to get started on this bot tier 1 tower push. They want to force AG away from this side, but DB sticks around with his team. They'll go for a hook, and that's a perfect hook. DB really landing him nicely so far. We'll get a secondary kill. And that might just halt the push that was incoming down at bot tier 1.
You're getting a lot of presence from DB. He is still ahead of farm compared to 423. And with 423 heading bot now, he's not actually farming as much. I'm surprised he actually left that top lane. He's having a good time just AFK farming, getting the build-up that you want to see the Lone Druid get. Massive Madness already up on his Bear. So the Flash farm can just kind of kick in. Going for the Desolator next for some damage output. So you're actually wanting to go for a bit more fight here on the Lone Druid. AG are more than willing to match. Like, their lineup really wants to fight. They want to brawl. They've got that Hood of Defiance on DB. The magic damage doesn't bother him as much. They're getting some much-needed space out for Azura to work onto his Orchid. And the build-up is there, although a little bit slowly. But eventually, once you have that control piece, locking in the puck is going to be a lot easier. And that's the one here they might struggle with. They've been able to catch Sanctity a couple of times with good angles coming through, but that's not something you can always rely on.
Ace 12. Icarus Dive available. He'll use it perfectly. Very nice timing. Just fine. 4-4. 11.5 minutes in. DB, top of the net worth board on the Pudge. Not a great... Oh, hold on a minute. Mid lane, Narman? No, he's going to be all right. You never want to give DB this much farm on this Pudge. Because that Ags, once you have it up, we've all seen it, how ridiculous it gets. The farm speed, the damage. In fact, top lane, there is going to be a big team fight to break out. Wami trying to go on to 11. Coil is there, however, a nice rotation from the puck. Call down is out from Varish. They're going to keep trying to fight. The Coil was not enough to take down Azura. They've only found the Marcy. Kishka is going to be focused down and will die. Narman, he does have Chrono. They'll try to get the egg down. Narman, does he have the attack speed? No, he doesn't. He made it so they couldn't get the egg. Oh, he zones them out. Agent Narman, what have you done? DB. He'll keep running. He'll make it away, but oh, kids, you don't chrono egg, right? You need to hit the egg. You don't chrono it. That's not how it
No.
works.
I don't know if they'd even have the attack speed even without the chrono, because the Fire Spirit did land on Norman. You only had, what, the right click out from DB. It's a Pudge. His right click speed isn't the best. So whether or not they would have found Ace 12, it's also a bit nebulous. Very good TPs out from Lilgun to punish. They find some nice pickoffs, although not all the kills that they would have probably wanted. Azura gets away. And that's a big save out from AG. As long as the Storm's alive, you're pretty damn happy. That Orchid timing still needs to come true. And you are starting to force Lilgun to run around the map now. Cutting off, like, free farm for 4-2-3. He is still getting that build-up he wants. Sanctity has had a fairly good game, though. Like, the puck is about to hit that great Witchblade timing into the blink. He's just going to be able to run around once that's up.
Well, looking back at the replay, I believe what Nama was trying to do, John, is catch Sanctity, because he might have jaunted back towards the orb. I think that was the idea. Obviously, Nama wasn't actually chronoing for the egg. That would have been a bit silly. He was trying to catch the puck. And just sadly, there was no jaunt to come from the puck. So Sanctity, just seeing the chrono, says, I'm not going to jaunt. It's all good. AG. They'll run into the Spirit. Oh, 4-2-3. He's a big target. That lone druid. They see the Spirit Bear. Wami trying to sneak up from the backside. Narman, they'll see him. Rebound is there. He does have the bear form out just in the nick of time. But the problem is he doesn't have the help. He gets the fear off. It's only going to buy a slight bit of time, though. Wami, able to take the kill on the lone druid. That's a big pickoff.
Radiant's middle tower.
You're still ready for more, DB? Ooh. Just
a
a
nice
little bit
hook.
short.
A bit short indeed.
Very
Yeah.
balanced,
Tower
Phoenix.
is under attack.
Yeah, can't hit him
Dire's
when he's up in the
structures
cliff.
are fortified.
Nothing wrong with flying off the map, John. You know, someone's going to be able to do it.
Still an opportunity for a little bit of a push if AG wants to. Mid is being committed to by Lilgun, though, and Azura's all by himself. Can't really stop that from happening here.
And they can try. T1 tower still going. Here comes the Spirit Bear as well. That Mask of Madness now up. He's going to hit very, very fast. And in fact, it almost has a Desolator up as well. So the Spirit Bear, it's going to be a bit of a sieging machine very, very soon here from 4-2-3. Once you have the Deso up, then you can certainly start to confidently group up as a team with this lone druid and start maybe thinking about those tier 2 towers right after their outpost afterwards. AG still just trying to buy time for DB to get that farm up. He's about 1k gold away from having the full ags up now. And again, that's going to be the big power spike, as there is going to be a smoke, but I think Ace 12 already saw it. And AG, they're going to find nothing out of this smoke rotation, I don't believe. That they are still trying. Chrono's available, but I think Lilgun are ready for this one. Kishka, he's in position to break the smoke. Narman has it broken. They'll jump in. Narman, he gets silenced immediately into the egg and the coil. He is gone. Kishka, he's fine. Hook is there. DB might at least find something, and he does, but you saw the smoke broken. It was very desperate to keep going. 11. Maybe they can find another. The Bat are in trouble. 4-2-3's around. There's your lasso. They've gone way too far on AG's end. Rooted up, taken down. DB still trying. So is Wami. Unleash. 11. At least goes down, but now the root is out once again onto the Pudge. DB's the big target. Highest net worth on the map. Trying to run, but it's not enough for Narman. He'll come back in for that chrono. He finds the puck onto the Phoenix now. They've got Ace 12. They're onto the Bear. Can 4-2-3 tank it by himself? He is trying, but it's too much damage. In comes Kishka from the south. He does move in. 4-2-3 still going onto the gyrocopter. Look at the Giga Chad. He'll keep fighting. Narman getting too low. Has to time walk away. They can't deal with the Bear. Oh, AG. They get some consolation prizes, but that smoke... I mean, honestly, John, in the end, it was a 4-4-4 anyway. So it was a pretty even trade between the two teams. But that was a bit of a miracle team fight from AG, I'll be frank.
Yeah, they drag it back. It goes a little bit longer than you'd expect. Good side steps coming out from 4-2-3 to just kind of ignore the second rebound coming out from Wami. If they managed to catch that, it would have been a kill on the lone druid, and that fight would have not been worthwhile for Lilgun. So AG, they've still got a lot of fight under their belt. That's a great chrono out from Norman as well, catching on the edge, allowing Wami to apply some hits on to some key targets there. And you are also very close to DB's Ags timing. So overall, it kind of works in their favor. 2 more stacks of Flesh Heap here for DB. Not the most, but it's a pretty decent amount at this point in the game. At the least, you have a lot more durability to play with. And the Orchid for Azura is almost done. So your key items are being met. The Blink is already up for 11 though, so the Blink Lasso is now ready to go, and that's where the issues present itself. In fact, for armygeniuses, they have to be so careful when they clump up, because the counter fight is just really good from Lilgun. The coil, the egg, the tossbacks, the avalanche, and a huge AoE. AG just clump up so hard when they take these fights that it's very easy for Lilgun to get a better position in the end.
Smoke up now. 3-man smoke, Lilgun. Send 4-2-3 in as bait in the mid lane. Nobody around from AG to even consider going for that. DB now, he does have the full Aghanim Scepter. Problem is, 4-2-3 is now out farming that Pudge, and we've seen how hard it's been to try and deal with this man already. 4-2-3, he has died once this game, but if he does get the true form off in time, so much harder to try and deal with this man, and with the Spirit Bear just kind of hitting away over and over again, it feels impossible. He'll work towards the AC now on that lone druid, and that makes it even more impossible to try and deal with this man if he gets the ulti off.
Just a big tanky boy coming out on that LD. You do have good magic damage to kind of just go through that, so you might not care too much about the additional physical, as you will be able to melt him with the additional damage of the Rot, with the Rocket Barrage coming off, with the Storm on top, with the Orchid ready to go. Smoke out from AG with those items done. Lilgun are on the opposite side of the map though, so they might not find anything for their trouble here.
Wow.
We do have a classic pause coming out. This is actually, I think, the first pause in this whole best of 3, so we've gone pretty well so far. Few lag issues going on here for armygeniuses. Quick disconnection out from Varish. See a reconnection soon, I hope. Of course, the SCA server, John. I mean, even I've been having these issues recently trying to play on SCA. Sometimes my ping just spikes to 300 for some reason. Not sure why. Reconnections do fix it pretty fast, but I gotta say, it's pretty annoying when you're in the middle of a team fight wondering why none of your spells are working. Very, very annoying indeed.
There are a couple of things that happened as well. I think a few nights ago, like almost like 4 people disconnected, 2 from each team in servers, and there's an issue with reconnecting for a while. Like that was a few days ago. The servers were overloaded. So, you know, it's Battle Pass season. Everyone's back to playing the game. Can overload the servers a bit, and that load is pretty big. Southeast Asia is a big Dota region still. When Battle Pass comes out, it tends to fill up.
Yeah, I think I was talking to you earlier, John. Steam charts have been showing that the player numbers are up the most they've been in like 3 years. So very, very good to see. DB, oh, this is a big pick. Kishka, not going to go for the avalanche. The TP rotations were there, and now DB with the hook does thread the needle. Kishka, he will go for the tossback, but DB with the axe is on the chase. Will be able to reach. The AoE is just so big with the Aghanim Scepter and Narman. He'll go for a chrono. It's only on the Phoenix. He wanted 11 on the Batrider. Ace 12 still running. Silence is there. Can they burst him down before the egg does come out? It does seem like they can. DB. Another cheeky hook out. Does secure the kill for his team. And that's one of those risky hooks, John, where you might hook in your own teammate, but DB, he knows what he's doing. He's a professional.
They make it work. They find some 2 freebies on Lilgun from Lilgun's end. armygeniuses 12 to 11, less than 1k lead still running for Lilgun though. The farm distribution feels a little bit better with Sanctity and 4-2-3, although
Time dilation, always very good against the puck, and they got him. The Marcy follow-up damage. He's even got the Brigand's Blade, so he does so much more with that Unleash. It's like the perfect neutral item for Marcy. Oh boy. It's one of the great things about the support Void, John. You get time dilation at max level like he does have against the puck. There's nothing he can do.
no, you're just really stuck. You do have the Yules to self-dispel, but that could land you in a spot of trouble on the follow-up, especially if you don't time it right with your orb. That provides openings here for the side of armygeniuses. They do take that mid-tier 1, opening up the map a little bit more, equaling map control for both sides. Look, I mean, they're still doing a fantastic job of buying out space for 4-2-3, but the question remains whether or not this physical build counteracts DB would erupt. Like the physical output, the reduction, the armor reduction in AC and Deso is massive. So I think that's what they'll go for. Just gun down DB. He's not going to have armor. He only has
Hook.
7+4, although.
They've got the puck. Sanctity at least gets the silence off. Kishka's there right behind, and now the egg is dropped, but nothing to hold them down. Where was the avalanche? Kishka, no avalanche. There it is now. Lasso, but the rebound. Wami, he'll save the day. They found Kishka. They've got the Batrider, and they're onto the Phoenix. Oh boy, Lone Druid. He gets caught out as well. DB's got him. That'll be 4 down for Lilgun. They popped the egg. They thought the avalanche was coming. Oh no.
They don't time it right. AG, their synchronization is looking really good. Like they're backing off at the right time. They're jumping in together as a team. They're coordinating very well. I think they've managed to adjust from their issues in the last game. Like they make sure that the Phoenix Egg is not an issue. They know when it's up that they've got to back off. They've got to play it safe. They managed to get the Aegis now up for DB. 10 flesh heap stacks, secondary life, very durable on this Pudge. And he's going for that BKB next. So some of your magical damage, especially out from Batrider and the Phoenix, is just gone. He's not going to care in that 9-second window.
Do you know the hook rate at DB, by the way? This guy hasn't really missed very often, has he? I feel like it's like a 70-80% hook rate at the moment on DB. You've got to give props, because hooking on Pudge, it's not that easy. You know, especially in a pro match with this much pressure, in a best-of-1 lower bracket series for TI-11 qualifiers. How many hooks has this guy landed?
I want to say he's landed at 70%. We see a couple of blind hooks coming out that don't connect, a couple in the laning phase that didn't connect, but when it matters, he's been connecting. Like that hook on the LD, getting 43 out of the way, focusing him down, giving him that big LD kill is just perfect. Like he has been able to weave that thread very good when it matters. And we do have a bit of a pause. Mic issues abound.
Oh,
Let's see if they can sort that out in armygeniuses. It's always you, Mike. You can't live upside down.
Oh, we're getting old, John. These jokes are getting worse and worse every time. Maybe we're gonna... Retirement's coming soon, I'll tell you. AG, 3-man smoke up. Who do they run it? Oh, Kishka. Well, at least he'll break the smoke if he does, but no, AG. A big wraparound, back into the dire triangle, looking for the lone druid. Good game sense here from 4-2-3 to back off at that right moment, realizing something is wrong. Very good game sense, in fact. Meanwhile, the Tiny does get caught out. Azura jumps in with the Orchid, has found the Vortex as well. He hasn't quite got the damage yet. Kishka gonna try and buy himself a little bit of time. Azura, last sip is there, and he does find the right click. Very nice. Meanwhile, Wami actually picks off 11 top lane. Here we go, armygeniuses. They're feeling it now. Narman would love a chrono on the park, but Sanctity, he's okay. He backs himself out. But AG looking very powerful now during this game number 3. Win probability sitting at 84% their way. Lilgun, it's a very tough ask to make a comeback now, but they're gonna have to try.
I don't think Lilgun's really out of it. Like they still have this good win condition on 43. It's just that his farm has fallen behind. So you kind of need to keep building up, try to hyper invest onto that bear, and hit that AC timing, hit the basher. And that's where it feels a lot better. I think Lilgun has to be able to take these fights on their terms, though. Like, the egg has to be perfect coming out here from Ace 12. We need to see them connect with Kishka's Avalanche Toss a lot better. They need to play around the Dream Coil. Like, so far, AG's managed to split up these fights very nicely that their single target control just feels a lot better. And they're able to retreat when they see that commitment. Lilgun has to force them into that area and just, again, play with the combinations. Dream Coil Egg, probably their best one here.
DB. Flamebreak will knock him back. 11 trying to buy a bit of time here for this top tier 2 tower while the rest of his team does make it over to the bot tier 2.
Top tower is under attack.
That top tier 2 tower though, not gonna last. DB just able to do it by himself. And 11 could think about blinking in for a lasso attempt here. He is quite low now. Does have the Aegis up, but you might be able to waste it as 11. Problem is, Wami's right behind, just waiting in case he does. And DB, he'll heal up with the Dismember, pings her out, but nobody's there to help. 11, he's not going to try. He's too important on the Batrider right now to try and go for solo pickoffs on his own. Against the POS 1 Pudge of all things, and Again, Wami right behind him, making sure that opportunity never really existed.
Yeah, they play it safe. They are clumped up bot. It's only Varish showing up. He'll make his presence known with the wave clear of the call down. BKB now fully up in Azura. So you're very secure now on the Storm, and you're not going to care about anything outside of Lasso, and whether or not 11 can actually lasso the Storm is a different question. They should have an angle here to be aggressive for armygeniuses if they want.
I love this homing missile shots, but look at this shot. Even just farms jungle for you while it's going. I mean, it's not going to do that much damage, but you get my point. It's just fun to... Naaman! He only caught one! He missed out on the lone druid! No, he ran back into the chrono, but it's not going to matter. Kishka, he's the target. He does go down, as now they find the Spirit Bear with the Dismember. It'll be locked away. Meanwhile, Azura, he's onto the Phoenix in the backside and surely gets him. Hook! DB, this man can't miss! DB does not miss! In they go again. AG finding 3 for nothing. 8k advantage. Lilgun, John, their dreams of TI-11, they're slowly being chipped away at. They're not out of it yet, but they need so much more.
Yeah, they need to drag this game out as much as possible. Get that build up in 4-2-3, maybe try to get the talent spikes on Sanctity. That's where things can get very, very different, especially once you have that Dream Coil piercing spell immunity. Narman!
They'll punish him this time. None of that, Narman. In goes Sanctity. He sees an opening. Coil is out. He's got the Pudge. They'll break the coil. DB, he's just going to prance his way up. He'll skip. In fact, he wants a hook. He'll throw one. It's onto a creep. And DB, naturally, every time you miss a hook, you've got to spam some voice lines. Just to make sure your team doesn't do it for you. We all know how it is.
Yeah, be preemptive. The kill on Narman's pretty nice, but again, it doesn't feel like it matters too much.
Oh, Sanctity! Uh-oh, Sanctity! He never even got the Yules off! Kishka! Oh, that's a mess. I think he had time for the Yules. I don't know if we can get a replay of that. Maybe just trying to hold out a little bit longer, but... Yeah, that's not good. That is not good news for Lilgun.
Yeah, and then maybe he didn't expect that BKB use on Azura. It is his first BKB charge going down. They just managed to chain stun perfectly there. Side of Lilgun, they tried to help, but Kishka alone just can't stop it, and they're trying to poke and prod elsewhere. They're split pushing as best as they can, forcing AG back. But I don't think AG minds too much. I mean, if they move fast enough, they can find a couple of kills. DB is ready, on the run, meat hook ready, but doesn't really see anyone. And they've got some wards to defend, but 11? Is he really gonna stay?
I hope not when he sees DP. That man is a real terror right now on this Pudge. 8-2-6 is the scoreline of DB, and again, he is happy to throw out blind hooks. I mean, you definitely want to as a Pudge. You don't want to hold out and wait for that perfect moment as my pub Pudges do. Naaman jumps in. Kishka, there's the toss back. Hook is there. Not going to land on the tiny. Naaman's gone. A nice start. Lilgun, they're going to try and capitalize. They'll go for the lasso. Onto the Pudge. The call down. It won't do much for DB. He wants the man up. He jumps back in. Wami goes after the Egg with the Unleash. He'll take it down. Now the Lone Druid is in trouble. There's no survival. Azura, he'll zip forward. He'll take him out. Lilgun, they need to run. They got too greedy for this team fight. Wami, thinking about still going. Sanctity will jump back in the coil. It's going to be snapped by DB. Wami is fine. Meanwhile, Kishka will jump in with the Vortex. Azura, come back here, sir. The Tiny's gone. No chance to toss throughout the Avalanche. As AG find a 3-for-1 trade once again. Naaman, always happy to give his life away for these kind of trades. 10, 11k advantage and ooh. Barish, manning up. That's a lot of damage on Sanctity. Here come the rotation. Sanctity, Blink Dagger up in 4, DB. Let's see your game sense here, sir. Wrong side. Sanctity lets him know about it too.
Yeah, that ward they dropped earlier in that fight does pay dividends. They do manage to turn around, grab a couple of kills for themselves, and at least find a little bit of a trade. You are in a massive lead now on armygeniuses and though 27-14, 10k lead up. And you are massive on DB. This Eternal Shroud being up, whenever he gets Glimmer Caped up, that lasso did no damage. The Firefly did no damage to him. Like, he was just fine. Managed to walk himself out of the egg. BKB on Wami means he can just focus on the egg, no problems. And Lilgun are just, again, unable to play with a combination. Like, the ideal circumstance is still you jump first, catch AG clumped up together, but AG have been staying very disciplined. We have not seen them stay as a very tight unit for a while. They do kind of declump. They understand that they're highly mobile on two of their heroes. They've got the hook to kind of drag people back towards DB, so he doesn't need to stick around that close to that many people. And it just negates any chance for Lilgun to find that fight. They are smoked here, though.
Jump in. Narman again. He'll be targeted. He'll get the Wraith packed off in time. Lilgun, they've got to back off. This is not the fight. If you can't burst down Narman, you can't keep going. That's for sure. Roshan is up. Second Rosh of the game. And DB, he wants to get it started. They've got the chrono. It's just such a strong position for AG to start Roshan. Their Roshing lineup, though, it's not really there. I mean, you've got Pudge Pos 1. So instead, they're going to go for a 4-man smoker. Try to force a fight.
Radiant are scanning.
Back into the Radiant jungle they'll walk to, through the mid lane.
Tower is under attack.
Scan is going to catch nobody yet, but
Dire
Ace
are
12.
scanning.
Oh, they're going to walk right into him, the Phoenix. I'd say good positioning from Ace 12 to tank the gank.
Gem?
Just-
Guys?
Oh.
There you go, Rich. Oh, Courier. Oh, the Courier took it.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Oh! The courier that could make it! Narman! Chase him down, the
come on.
courier! Oh,
No,
he
the chrono
chronoed
doesn't
courier.
stop it!
Oh, Narman! Oh, Narman, you learn something new every day! Wami is gonna hand the tip over. Well, that's a karaoke quote, isn't it? Oh, you learned something. There you go. Narman learns you can't chrono couriers.
I appreciate his dedication. I appreciate that. Now you would have really loved the chrono to catch Sanctity out here. It's gonna be able to bail out. I mean, they really want that gem. Don't want to give it away. It's a freebie. Took a while for them to figure out it was there. But you know, it works out in the end, Mike. You know, all things come to a good end.
That's the greatest chrono I've ever seen from Narman. Oh. Roshan. There you go. Aegis is
goodness
taking
me.
Azura. He'll take it. I love Support Void, man. How Support Void just that one. It's so much fun to watch. It's just so silly. It's so silly.
It is. I mean, think of the impact from Armin. They jump him first, and unlike the last game in game 1 where they'd instantly just try to go all in on him, they're actually just letting him live. He drops a Wraith pack, they back off. Like, they don't even want to kill him. They know he's, outside of Chrono, he's not much. So they want bigger targets, but once the smoke breaks, it's only Narman, you just back off. You know things are going to go south if you can Chrono. He's just been doing a great job by just existing once more. Kind of like game 1. The impact it has to your decision making is huge, and it's just spinning Lilgun around for a ride here.
Oh, here we go again. 12k advantage. DB, look at his net worth. Look at DB's net worth. 21.5k. 6k ahead of the lone druid. Pos 1 Pudge, ladies and gentlemen. Very, very good. Gonna have the Shivers Guard up next.
Radiant's top
Oh,
tower
yeah,
is
what's the
under
win
attack.
probability now? 89%. It hasn't gone up that much for AD, to be fair. Lilgun, like you mentioned earlier, John, they are well and truly still in this game. Just a couple team fights, like maybe 1 or 2 team fights won, they could certainly make a huge comeback.
Dire's bottom tower is under
But they've
attack.
got to
they've got-
really play him out
Radiant's
right.
top tower is under attack.
We have to see the combinations. If not, we have to see a really good lasso initiation out from 11. Pulled someone big back. They've tried DB. He's just way too tanky. I'd say if you actually pull back Azura and chain stun him, that could be one very big way to go. Or heck, even Wami is a bit too disruptive
Dire's
on that
bottom
Marcy.
tower has
That could be the way. I mean, we still haven't seen that play from 11. I think when they did it on DB, they realized he's just not the target to go for. Have to come in for this defense now.
Here we go. See how they can do this one. I mean, they do have the AC Basher up onto 423 Spirit Bear, but he gets hooked. He's got a secondary one ready. That's going to be one gone. Plus 300. Easy. No, oh, he spawns it very close to DB. The hook. It's not going to land. Dismember's back off cooldown, by the way, John. You've got to be careful with that bear. Lasso's out. They've got the punch. They've got the lasso. That'll be enough. DB's gone. A massive start. A great defense. AG need to retreat.
Managed to catch DB while he was too far for the glimmer as well, so the magic damage was there.
In goes Wommy, though. He's not done yet. He'll find Kishka. That's a tiny gone as Naaman. A two-man chrono. Azura zips right to the other side, but no! He works into the chrono. It won't matter. They've got the lone druid. Vortex is there. He's locked him down. There's no buyback. Woo!
Whew. Well, that's another nice exchange coming out for AG. Killing off the lone druid's big, even though you lose DB. Now, Lilgun can't actually push off the back of that. Like, they don't have their main pushing hero. Sanctity can at least cut the creep waves to ensure that the side of AG can't get an objective off the back of this as well. Although, I think they might want to try to chase. He does have his blink ready, Sanctity, and could bail out. Not much mana on Azura as well to catch.
Yeah, it should be just fine. Azura zips forward, breaks the Lincoln. Silence is there from Sanctity. Orb and jaunt back towards the left side of the tree line, but Varish is right behind him. Homing missile is up. He'll throw it out. That'll give the information over. Sanctity should still be able to get out of this and will do so. The stun will not land. Meanwhile, bottom lane. They are setting up to try and attempt onto the Bat Rider's life as Naaman does make the jump in, but Kishka's there to back him up. Wommy, he'll make the rebound, but misses the stun. 11's going to be fine. Naaman, he'll keep going. Bashes are out this time around. He's bashing very nicely, but the attack speed's low on Wommy. He's going to go down on the Marcy. At least they do find 11. It's a bit of a trade.
Wow.
Lived creatures.
Yep. Take care of Narman as well. So, back and forth in favor of Lilgun. This time they are finding the punishment of AG just kind of getting a bit hyper-aggressive. They might find more, though.
Yeah, that they will. Kishka gets caught out on the tiny. We'll go down. That'll be a 2 for 2 at the end of the day. Very, very nice. And like you said, though, Lilgun, they're still in this game. That's good news for the Dire at the very least. They're still buying more time for 4-2-3.
Yeah, I mean, their high ground's intact. The bear is ready to go for a little bit of split pushing when need be, although you'd really want the Ags up for that. And 43 isn't quite lined up, so he's always got to put himself up in the front line as well, which can be risky. I think they need to melt some of these tier 2s on Lilgun's end. Like, if they manage to find a clean fight, that's where the push opens up, and you can threaten onto the objectives. But as it is right now, I mean, armygeniuses still has control on the map. They've still got most of the map under control. They've got Roshan that's lined up in 2.5 minutes here, and once that's up, if Lilgun can't fight into that, another secondary life, potentially the refresh or the free Ags coming out, it's going to be massive, whoever they hand that onto. And I think this farm up is still great. Then another big spike is for Sanctity's 25. The Dream Coil piercing spell immunity is going to be big. It's going to hold back the storm if you're not careful. If Azura's caught out in that, your initiation's kind of ruined here on the side of AG. And they need to find a way to pierce high ground as well. Like you mentioned this earlier on, but their lineup is not suited for rushing. It's also not suited for push. That they just don't have that big right click to melt these objectives fast.
They do not. 15k advantage still stands. Roshan still a while away from respawning. There's a Scythe of Vice now up on Azura, so more control on the storm. Might be around that time now where you can start working on towards the Ags, or maybe just hope for a third Roshan Aghanim Scepter upgrade for Azura. I think that might be what he's actually waiting for here. His bot lane, Sanctity. Don't show up on that creep wave, sir. He's gonna orb. That's gonna reveal his position. Sanctity. Oh, he's jumped in. Oh no. Sanctity. Can he find his way out of this one? He'll use up the storm. Naaman, he's got the time dilation. Jaunt the other way, but he's gone. Scythe the Vice will lock him down. Sometimes you stick around for that extra creep wave, and sometimes it costs your own life.
Yeah, it's a big kill to find. They need him on a high ground defense. DB gunning for a hook, not gonna find anyone. But at the least, you've got the spy back ready on Sanctity, so he can come back in for the defense. AG, and they could try to force something. Hold on.
Maybe hoping for a toss back into the base.
getting a second wind.
Gonna find what he wanted. 16k advantage, Roshan. We're gonna find out in 30 seconds when it will respawn up, but it seems like they want to try and force the buyback of Sanctity.
Zap.
Dire's courier has been killed.
Here's the courier.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
AG, they don't really have a creep wave bot lane, but they do have one mid lane, so they can go for the bottom racks. Kishka's there, toss back on Narman. He's still okay, but the bear will get right to work as Narman is going to go down. Kishka, he might follow soon. In fact, 4-2-3
Wami.
did get hooked, but he's going to be alright, and now Wami goes down.
Are fortified.
They found the Marcy. Another successful high ground defense as the coil is going to lock down the Pudge, the bear. That is a lot of damage from that bear DB. He's going to BKB up. Run back to the high ground, turn around, misses the hook, goes to the dismember. Meanwhile, the puck, the side, the vice gonna lock him down. 4-2-3 is still fighting, but 4-2-3 is in trouble now. Glimmercape gonna buy a bit of time. The chase is going. 4-2-3, can you actually make it out? Azura, he's out of mana. DB though, he's gonna hook back up and available. He'll find 11 with that. The fear is there from the Spirit Bear. Lilgun will keep going, but DB, he wants to keep chasing. Or does he? He will back off. Roshan up in 1 minute 5 seconds. Both sides, they'll retreat for now, but that is another high ground defense to come from Lilgun.
And he played that really well. The lasso back into the fountain coming out from 11 onto Wami. Pretty much cut off that fight once more. And you saw Narman just jumping in and out. Couldn't get the chrono off, just got controlled. He really needs something like his Lotus Orb that he's queuing up to help defend against that hard hold. If he manages to stay alive and time walk back, look for the angle into a good chrono to isolate them, the fight could have gone differently. So it's getting a little bit tough for the side of AG to play that high ground. The hold is looking really nice inside of Lilgun. The Aeon Disc from Norman should help the cause though, and looks like they will just rinse and repeat. No buyback in the puck here.
Narman, they'll jump in. Who have they got? It's the bear. It's on cooldown. They can't afford to lose that bear right now. Narman is looking for that chrono. The bear, it's going to make it back towards the fountain. AG, they'll finally have a chance at that bot. Rax, and they will find it.
Dire's bottom
They'll
tower
back off immediately after. Roshan's up in 10. They'll go back for that instead.
Yep. They've got room for it. They've got the wards defender position in the Roche. And Lilgun, they're going to have their full force up in a short time. They do have the egg. They do have the Dream Coil already. They could try to force the fight. Scando.
It's out. Lilgun don't pop a smoke anyway, but they will now. Scan does wear off. Roshan is up. Lilgun cannot afford to lose this Roshan. Too important. Kishka gonna make the jump in. DB's there to try and help out. The gyrocopter out of position now. Egg will be dropped. Narman, he needs to back out and will do so, but the Spirit Bear has been caught. 4-2-3. He does have the bear to respawn if he wants to. Buybacks around. They've got 11. Now the chrono. It's caught out to Narman. He'll go after the Phoenix straight off the bat, and the Lone Druid has been controlled up. There's no escaping. Lilgun, they're in big trouble. They're gone.
buybacks.
No buybacks available. This could be it. How much can Sanctity do to delay this one? He's got to creep skip the best he possibly can to buy a minute for this Lone Druid.
Double farm shell. Greetings.
Dire's middle
Do they
tower
know?
is under attack.
Narman does. No, he doesn't.
Just poking. They don't have Fortify. So all of this just falls really quick. I think at this point they're going to realize they could just go for tier 4s. Respawns are still fairly short, so it could be a risk. They're going to go for the Mega Creeps instead. Play the safer game here on AG. Although,
Yeah, he's got the hook again. Godlike for Azura. 4 down with that buyback. Lilgun. Oh, this is not how they wanted it to go. Sanctity. He's going to be alright. Army Geniuses. 1 racks away from Megas and being able to proceed through to the lower bracket.
Top barracks are under attack.
They'll find the top. Megas are incoming. Lilgun, of course, they are not going to call it. This is an elimination best of 1 series now. They have to try to the bitter end, but well, John, I hate to say it, but it's happy death time.
oh yeah, it certainly is. At least you still have your dummy buildings, so the creeps won't directly aggro to the tier 4 into the ancient just yet. But Roshan is up, and armygeniuses have the control for the area. Going into it, refresh shard on the deck here. Narman can gun for double chrono now if he does live through once. Refresh on the A, and this is pretty nice as well. Gonna have that tool on hand here, although it looks like they will pass it on. Looks like Azura will take the Aegis and a refresh and the cheese, everything coming out for the Storm. So they pass the cheese for it. They've got the Ag, so the refresh does make sense now. And for Lilgun, this def is not easy. Coil is up, Egg is going to be up on the respawn. They've got to find a way to get that ideal team fight.
Oh, Azura, he's got double Vortex available. We saw it last game. We call it the mini black hole here as DB. Gonna go for a hook. It's not gonna be on the mark. Narman, he's got Chrono up. One good Chrono and this game is basically over. One good Vortex and the game's basically over. Lilgun, can they defend one last time? Kishka, Hawk is there. DB, he won't go for the dismember yet. Narman has jumped in. Silence War's out. Fear is there, but the Aeon does get procced. And now Narman in the backside. He's got the Chrono. It's caught out two of them. They'll focus down the egg first, but no, the egg, it does explode. Maybe they can try to fight back onto the Storm Spirit. Lasso there as well onto the punch, but it's not going to be enough to drag him back. The toss, it's not going to work. GG's called. The Vortex is alright. He'll keep going. But Army Geniuses, they have managed to pull off this Game 3 victory and cause the upset against Lilgun. Oh, and you've got to give props to Lilgun, John. They put on a hell of a show for us here in this best of 3 lower bracket. Sadly for them, they are going to have to go home. And Army Geniuses, they will proceed through lower bracket round of 3 now. But what a series it was, John. My goodness.
Yeah, a lot of back and forth. Lilgun just showing us that resilience, that playstyle that they had in game 2 was pretty much peak Lilgun coming out. And they tried to fall back to it multiple times. Game 1, they tried to go back into that insane push. AG was ready for it. Game 3, AG pulls out the Norman Void again. And, you know, it's not like the game hinges on him, but he just did so much in terms of putting his body forward, forcing decisions onto Lilgun that they're not ready to make. And the rest of AG just plays spectacularly around that. Like, DB has a really good game. His Pudge was on point. Everyone just looked as good as they've ever been. I'd say even